Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 6 things that you don't need in your wardrobe. Now, at the start of every single year, I always feel really inspired to go through all my things and do a declutter. This isn't just my wardrobe, it's the entire house. I start thinking a lot about the things that I don't need, what I'm not using, what I can't foresee myself using in the next 6 months to a year, because I don't want to hang on to things if they're no longer bringing me joy or if I'm no longer finding them useful anymore. Before I jump into the tips, I do want to preface this by saying that if you decide to get rid of anything from your wardrobe or from your closet or even from your home, I do think it's really important to look at all the different options for how you can part with it in a really sustainable and eco-friendly way, whether that's taking it to your local Salvation Army, selling it on eBay, or looking at different ways that you can recycle the product. I will list some different options in the description box for if you are living in Australia, but I really just wanted to stress that by no means am I suggesting that you just throw all of these things away. So let's jump into the video. These 6 tips that I'm going to be sharing today are all related to your closet. You guys know how much I love a closet clearer. I have shared quite a few of these on my channel, and I'm going to start with tip number 1, which is things that no longer fit. I don't know about you guys, but in the past I've definitely bought things on sale with the intention of maybe losing weight or maybe getting something tailored so that will fit me properly. The truth of the matter is that this hardly ever happens. I find it hard enough to get to the dry cleaner, so getting things tailored really does take a lot of extra effort on my part, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way. So it's kind of nice to part with those things that you know you aren't ever going to wear because they just don't fit you properly and they're just sitting in your wardrobe unloved and unworn. In addition to things that you might have bought on sale that don't fit, and this also extends to shoes as well, because I in the past have bought shoes half a size too small, which you just should never do. Things that are also really old that just don't fit you properly anymore, and also old underwear is a really good time to throw out things that are sort of looking a bit tatty. The second one might not be right for all of you, but statement jewellery is definitely an area in my wardrobe that I sort of feel can use a bit of a declutter at the beginning of the year. A lot of the time with statement jewellery that I've purchased in the past, I will find myself re-wearing it over and over again. It becomes a huge part of my style, and then one day I'll wake up and I just stop reaching for it. And at that point, that's the time that I know when I'm ready to let go of it and to move on to perhaps somebody else who might love and cherish it as much as I had during that time. Jewelry is certainly an area in your wardrobe that I think can help make very classic style seem a little bit more refreshed. So it's kind of nice to replenish those pieces every now and then. And also, if you're buying more inexpensive pieces, this is when you might notice that they're starting to look a little bit worn. I also find with jewelry, because they are such small pieces in the context of your whole wardrobe, that they're quite easy to just tuck away and forget about them. I personally know I have this box, it's full of belts, necklaces, earrings, all of that, and I forget I even have it. I don't go and reach for it or anything like that. So this is the time of the year when I go through all of those items and see which ones I don't think I'm going to reach for again. Number 3 is uncomfortable shoes and clothing. I think a lot of us kind of fall into the trap of buying something because we really love the way that it looks, but it maybe isn't necessarily the most comfortable thing in our wardrobes. I've definitely had this happen a lot, and I'll kind of put up with it because I've already paid the money. It's a sunk cost, so I sort of feel like, you know, that it's not going to do much harm if I hang on to it because I like the way that it looks. But ultimately, I don't feel great when I'm wearing it, I don't feel comfortable when I'm wearing it, and those 2 things are reason enough to let something go. Same is said for shoes. I have a bunion on one of my feet, so I have to be really careful with what shoes I buy, and I do not have time for uncomfortable shoes. So unfortunately, you can't really know with footwear until you've bought it and worn it whether or not it's going to be comfortable for you. So really, it's one of those ones that you have to try out to see if it's going to be right for you. I've had a lot of shoes that I've bought that have looked and seemed really promising, but then they've turned out to be super uncomfortable and give me the worst blisters. Again, I just don't have time for that. So if it's giving me blisters, I'm ready to pass it on at the beginning of the year when I do a little bit of a refresh of our home. Ultimately, these things are never going to make you happy, and it's just not worth hanging onto them and keeping them in your closet if you feel uncomfortable in them or they're just not right. Number 4 is worn out wardrobe staples. Now, I love a good wardrobe workhorse. I reach for the same things over and over again. If you're familiar with my blog, or if you are a long-time subscriber of mine, then you will know that I tend to rewear the same things again and again because they work for me. I like the way that they look, and I feel really comfortable and really great when I have those pieces on. but there are things that have seen better days, and when you get to that point where items are starting to have holes in them or they're just looking a bit grotty, that's really the time when you have to think, should I maybe look at repurchasing this or replacing it with something new, or maybe something that is a little bit more high-end if it was a more affordable piece. Number 5 is loungewear. Now this is a category which I think is really easy to go overboard in. It might be things that you've actually bought specifically to lounge around in the house in, but then there also can be things like t-shirts or maybe really super stretchy skinny jeans or leggings that you end up relegating to loungewear because they're a bit worn out, maybe a little bit past their use by date, but you aren't ready to let them go yet. I sort of feel like this time of the year is the time where it's worth having a look through all of those things, because I think even when you're lounging around in the house, you want to be lounging in things that make you feel good, rather than a really old tee that's maybe got some tomato sauce stains on it or something like that. I know we've all got something along those lines in our closet, and it's really time to let those go. Then the final thing that you really need to let go from your wardrobe are the clothes that you aren't wearing. These can be things that you've been hanging on to for a long time with really good intentions. You really love the item, but you're just not reaching for it. And maybe this could be indicative that it's really not suited to your personal style. Maybe it doesn't work for the climate that you live in. Maybe it doesn't just work for your lifestyle. I've definitely had that happen to me a lot, where I love something, I want to wear it, but it just doesn't work for the way that I'm currently living and the things that I'm currently doing on a weekly basis. So it's really just time to move those pieces on. I think that if you're really not sure, if you're still on the fence, one thing that I would recommend doing is just popping all of those items you're on the fence about into a box, store it away, and come back to it in 3 or 6 months time. If you have been thinking about it, then maybe it's worth hanging on to it. If things have changed, maybe you can cycle that back into your closet, but if not, maybe then you can think about donating it, maybe selling it online or via consignment store. I sort of feel like if you haven't worn something in a year, then it's highly unlikely that it's going to happen in the next 12 months, unless it's a special occasion piece like a really nice dress you just haven't had an occasion to wear. The same goes for anything that still has the tags attached. I know that these are the hardest items of all to remove from your wardrobe and part with, because you've paid for them and you really want to love them and wear them, but if it's been 3 months and you still haven't found yourself reaching for it and you purchased it within the right season, it's probably time to let it go. So those are the 6 things that you do not need in your wardrobe. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. As I was saying before, if you do decide to part with anything in your closet, it is really important to make sure that you are looking into the different ways that you can part with things, whether it is selling, donating, or looking at options where you can recycle textiles. If there's anything else that you guys think you don't need in your wardrobe, please drop it in the comments below, just to help everybody else out who's maybe wanting to give their wardrobe a little bit of a refresh. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you're new and you want to see more videos like this from me. I'll see you guys next week with a brand new one. See you soon. Bye.